Hey guys, Sableye VGC here, and welcome back to more Players Cup 4 match analyses. Today we're here for round 8. We finally fought our way back to 5-2, and I pull Fiona. So for those of you who do not know Fiona, Fiona is one of my go-to team building partners, and in case you didn't notice by looking at the screen right now, we actually have the exact same team. And I'm not talking the same 6 Pokemon, I'm talking the same 6 Pokemon, the same EVs, everything is the exact same. The only thing that's different right now is the order we have it in our boxes. That is the only thing that's different. So this is one of those games where, especially when it comes down to Dragapult, because Dragapult is our only answer to the opponent Dragapult, right? And you saw in round 3 versus Colin that Colin had the faster Dragapult, and it was really problematic for me. Well, now our Dragapults are speed tying, so basically it comes down to who wins the Dragapult speed tie, or who plays their Dragapult better or can out-position it. But more often than not, we're both trying to do the exact same thing. And it's really, really awkward. Of course, here I went with the Instant Amoonguss. Mainly, this is actually, I'm going to thank Fiona for this lead, which is kind of interesting because now I'm playing Fiona, and I'm surprised she didn't do it. But it was one of the things where we kind of came up to the decision that this kind of lead would just shut down and force the max. Like, allow you to max it a little later and force the opponent to either burn a turn of max or switch out and not get that spiral going early. As you see, like I said, I do force that Dragapult out. Of course, Incineroar coming in here, and great minds think alike, I guess. I don't know, but either way, we're chilling here. They're bringing an instant. That's going to get spored with the safety goggles, so it's not going to matter. And I believe I just taunted their Amoonguss. Guys, this is one of those sets that's going to be really, really annoying to commentate over. Very smart play by Fiona, though, to go for the Sludge Bomb. Get that extra chip. Thankfully, no poison, which is very nice. And, of course, instant, like I mentioned, not going to be affected by that thanks to safety goggles. So, this is where I think we want a parting shot out. But I'm actually going to get aggressive in Flare Blitz, which, I mean, is fair because I need some way to sort of chip off this Amoonguss, right? I'm taking a big risk here. I know Fiona is one of those big players where she's like, okay, always spore the slot, you know, that they can't spore anyways, so if they switch out, you get to spore off. So I expected her to spore the instant here, expecting maybe some sort of parting shot. Actually, I taunted it. What am I saying? Ignore me. I taunted this thing. You guys can perfectly ignore me. just forget about me. I'm more focused on the fact that everything is speed tying. But the opposing Incineroar is gonna Flare Blitz, so we both had the same idea, just to kind of chip that Amoonguss down. That Flare Blitz actually did a lot more than I was kind of expecting it to. Of course, not being -1 though, so it makes a fair bit of sense. And my Flare Blitz is gonna do less than that because I am -1. But I don't know, guys. I don't know if there's much analysis to really give you guys here. Like, we're just both trying to get ourselves into a position where Dragapult can, can just kind of either win the speed tie or sweep and get a speed boost up before the other Dragapult can. But I think we both kind of realized to ourselves at this point, we're not pivoting out of this. If either of us try to pivot out and the other person maxes, we lose. So we both just kind of have to go for the Dynamax. And we both go for the Dynamax and we both play the speed tie. It's tough, right? Like, you want to position and you want to say, yeah, it's very easy to position around this, but it's really not, because normally Amoonguss is your position mon. But when Amoonguss is your position mon versus an instant and Amoonguss, and the instant has safety goggles, there is no positioning. You can't sport anything, and it's basically you're just switching back and forth. So clearly we both decided to say, hey, you know what, let's give this a shot. We're gonna go for this Dragapult. I did win the Dynamax speed tie. However, that does actually not matter in terms of relating to who wins the actual speed tie in the turn. So I actually do thankfully win this speed tie. Max Phantasm is gonna go off into this Dragapult. Dragapult's gonna go down. Perfect. No complaints whatsoever. And I think at this point, this game 1 is mine. Incineroar is stuck on the field. It would have to parting shot out. But the thing is, there's probably not a lot of pressure. I'm assuming she brought Urshifu in the back as well. We should be bringing the same 4 Pokemon here. The order is a little bit different, but we should be bringing the same 4. Correct taunt there, very smart play. Does win that speed time, might I add, to get the taunt off before I can parting shot and pivot. Because if I can parting shot and pivot in Urshifu there, this game's just over. If I win that and get the Urshifu in, there's literally nothing my opponent can do. Now Amoonguss is on the field. At this point, it's just Phantasm Flare Blitz that slot, get rid of it, and there's literally zero things Fiona can do here. But once again, had I lost that speed tie, I would be the one in Fiona's position and just losing. You know, like, It's just such a weird match to really try and analyze. And I hate playing it. Like, it's just so annoying. And me and Fiona have been doing it for years at locals. Like, we'd get to, like, round 4 of a mid-season showdown or round 3 of a premier challenge, and we just play each other. Same team, comes down to winning speed ties, and it's just brutal. Like, it's just brutal. And sometimes people are like, oh, why don't you just speed creep each other? We're never going to speed creep each other. It's just, then you're wasting EVs for the fact that you may play the same team, right? It's not like it's that common of a team that I'm going to have to speed creep. I might as well just keep the team the same, right? I'm not going to waste EVs like that. But here I kind of go back in, I believe, with the exact same thing. And I think Fiona's going to mix it up. Like I said, my game plan is just to try to out-pivot, right? That's kind of the game plan here. Just kind of out-pivot. If they go back to the Instant Amoongus... Sorry, if they go... Not Instant Amoongus. They go back to Amoongus Dragapult and they try to get like a Dragon Dance up. Well, I have Spore Pressure, right? So that's kind of the concept I have. But they do go Dragapult Incineroar, which I think is the optimal lead in this matchup. I think this is the optimal lead, but like I said, I'm going to go in Amoongus Incin. I just think I'd like to have the late game Dragapult pressure. To me, that just kind of seems a little bit better than, you know, wasting everybody's time. You know, risking the entire game, turn 1. I don't like doing that. If I don't have to, I will not. Right? Like right now, I can win this fake out speed tie and click Spore into Dragapult. Yeah, sure, they could switch into Amoongus, but I mean, then we're in the same spot we were last game. Right? So, unfortunately, I do lose that speed tie and they get the fake out off. So Fiona making a little bit of a risky play. Not like she had much of a better play though, right? Like if she pivots in Amoongus there, I mean, she doesn't really gain much. Right? Obviously, this is actually still safer than maxing because if she maxes and I win the fake out speed tie, then her max gets put to sleep. Right now, her max doesn't get put to sleep at all here, and this is kind of one of those things where I somehow need to pivot this out. She's gonna Dynamax, makes perfect sense. No reason not to now. You got the speed advantage on my Dragapult that's in the back. And like I was saying, this is the spot that you want it to be in this mirror match, right? You want to have the Dragapult set up first. And she did exactly that, which was very well played on her end. I can't say much else other than that, right? And Amoongus is going to click Protect here just because I need to keep it around. So I'm going to protect Amoongus, going to try and Parting Shot off here to get my Dragapult in to at least put Follow Me and... sorry, not Follow Me, Rage Powder and Max Phantasm Pressure on this Dragapult. That's kind of the game plan. Now, not the greatest game plan, as you see that she did call that I was going to Protect and drop my Instant immediately. Incineroar is of course going to click Taunt. Thankfully I did click Protect, so Amoongus is still going to be able to Rage Powder there, not going to get affected by that Taunt. And this is probably one of the harder reads in this game, more often than not than just speed tiers, right? Now, I could easily just Rage Powder and target Dragapult, right? Fiona knows that. Now, Fiona could easily taunt my Amoongus again and just click Max Guard. Or if she didn't want to taunt, she could pivot into her Amoongus and click Max Guard, right? And it's basically, does she expect me to call the Max Guard? And do I expect her to call the fact that she's gonna call the Max Guard? So it's one of those things where I kind of feel like I'm so far on the back burner. My only chance in this game is to actually hit this Phantasm into the Pult. So I'm gonna launch it out into the Pult anyways. So that's kind of why I went with this. Obviously their Pult's gonna be faster, and I'm gonna Rage Powder to protect my Dragapult. If they call this and click Max Guard and pivot into Amoongus or a Taunt, I'll take the L. You know, it's just one of those things where I have to not call the Max Guard. Thankfully, no Max Guard comes out, and this is surprising to me. I don't know if I really agree with her Airstream there. I mean, it's a fair play, but Phantasm just picks up that knockout. Like, clean. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't just pick up the knockout cleanly with Phantasm there. Just seems kind of odd. But thankfully, we do drop her Dragapult here. I believe I clicked Phantasm. Yeah. I think Wormwind was actually the smarter play, but it really doesn't matter. There's no Wormwind switching, right? So it was safe, but there's also no Phantasm switching. So maybe dropping defense on Instant is good here. But the good news is, yeah, I'm going to lose Amoongus here, but I have Dragapult. And Dragapult does stuff. And Dragapult does stuff. Instant's going to taunt. So going back to that turn, Fiona was actually considering the fact that I would Dragon Dance that turn, which is why she clicked Airstream. So I figured, you know, give you the insider info. She was kind of calling my Dragon Dance, which is a fair call, right? Because if I play the Speed Tie the next turn. But I didn't want to Dragon Dance because if I Dragon Dance, all I'm doing is getting myself back to a Speed Tie, which just didn't seem right. So either way, we're here. And this time it's kind of, I need to find a way to kill this Amoonguss. I believe I clicked Max Guard Sludge Bomb. I'm pretty sure, just to try and chip this Amoonguss, but we'll see. Parting Shot coming out off my Amoonguss. That's fair. That's actually a smart play because the Sludge Bomb plus a Phantasm actually does drop this Amoonguss cleanly. So it's a little annoying that the Parting Shot did come off, but I mean, it's the right play on her end. Just reposition, get the Urshifu, I'm assuming it is in the back because I haven't seen it yet. But it's got to be the Urshifu. There it is. Like I said, there's no reason for us to bring the other two mons to this matchup ever. So it's going to be the Urshifu. And I'm going to click Sludge Bomb, and I'm just kind of hoping for either a high roll now, or, you know, maybe now I need a big damage roll from Dragapult, right? So here's one of the things where I kind of have to pivot my Amoonguss out, give it a bit of regenerator. Like if I can keep my Amoonguss around, this is still a very winnable game on my end. It's not a great spot to be in, because the biggest concern is I'm getting put to sleep right here. Right, this is where I get put to sleep, and there's not much I can really do unless I somehow get a high roll and kill this Amoonguss. Now, at the time I was under the assumption that this was going to be a damage roll. I did run to calc back. It is not a damage roll. Based on the fact that they party shotted the Amoonguss, I would have had to get the high roll into high roll, and the Amoonguss probably still would have lived on 1. I think there was like a 99% chance for this Amoonguss to survive that combo. So there was really no real reason for me to try that, but I had to, right? I had to try and kill this Amoonguss because I'm going to get put to sleep. And Amoonguss is going to get the Spore off into the Dragapult. And now my big advantage in this game is kind of gone, you know? And without that Dragapult, it's a bit odd. Because Dragapult really can't do much here, but the thing is, I'm still in a decent spot, right? I can Surging, I'm pretty sure Amoonguss is going to switch out, because Amoonguss wants to regenerate it, right? So I'm pretty sure, it doesn't really matter what I click with Dragapult, but if I can win the Speed Tie and chip this, break this Sash on this Urshifu, that's what you want, right? If I can just break the Sash on the Urshifu, we're good. Or even if I don't even remember what I clicked. I might have tried to click Surging Strike onto the Amoonguss to call the instant, but I don't think I ever did that. But Dragapult, of course, being fast asleep, which is, it is what it is, not much I can do. And their Urshifu is going to win the Speed Tie, so down goes Urshifu. I did lose that Speed Tie. I can't complain. I won the Dragapult Speed Tie game 1. However, this game 2, they did win that Fake Out Speed Tie turn 1, and this Urshifu Speed Tie here. Otherwise, I would have been in a phenomenal position, so. But that's what it is when you get to these games. You know, it's going to come down to who's winning those Speed Ties, because our game plans are so similar. And the thing is here, I actually still have a chance. I protect the Amoonguss and go for a Dragon Dance. They have no way to actually kill my Dragapult right now, and if I can get the Dragon Dance up, I'm in a spot where I can start one-shotting everything, or at least two-shotting everything. And she's actually going to give me even more of a chance here by pivoting in the Amoonguss here. If I can just wake up and get a Dragon Dance, one dart is going to kill the Amoonguss. All I have to do is wake up. Get that quick wake up and I'll be alright. Dragapult unfortunately is fast asleep right here, and now I can't really do anything. Now it's one of those things where she's basically safe to just keep clicking Spore into my Dragapult. The moment I wake up, I won't kill the Amoonguss, and I'm in trouble here. I think maybe, I guess I should have Sludge Bomb. Did I throw this? Like, should I have just Dragon Dart Sludge Bomb? Does that win me the game, assuming I wake up? Let's see, Dragapult does wake up, Dragapult does go for that Dragon Dance. I wonder if I should have Darts though. It depends on if my Amoonguss wins the Speed Tie here, but I don't think I do because I'm pretty sure Instant just Flare Blitzes me. Yeah, Instant just Flare Blitzes me to death. So yeah, there was no point there. I need her not to click Spore. Or I needed to wake up the turn prior. Had I woken up the turn prior, I legitimately think I win the game. I don't see how I lose that game if I wake up the turn prior, because Darts just comes off, Instant can't touch me, and I get Darts. One Dart goes into Instant, one Dart goes into Amoonguss, Amoonguss goes down, Instant takes about 40. Then again, it comes down to would I be able to take a Flare Blitz and a Surging Strikes, because I lost the Speed Tie on the Urshifu as well, so that thing's still at full health. So, okay, maybe I don't win the game if I wake up immediately, but the 2 Speed Ties definitely matter. But that's what it is, like I said, in these types of games. And she's just going to switch Amoonguss, just start pivoting, and hey look, I'm still asleep, but that one's guaranteed. Can't complain about that one. And the Flare Blitz is coming out. At this point, I should forfeit. There's really not much else I can really do here. And I think the big difference here was Fiona got her Dragapult up first. Yes, I took the Dragapult out, but Fiona did way too much damage to my team with her Dragapult before my Dragapult was able to kind of counter that. And that was the problem. Right? So, because her Dragapult went up first, killed my Incineroar, I lost one of my key pivots and one of my best ways to deal with a Amoonguss, one of my fake out users. It was a big pivot to lose early on. And she just played this game better. Yeah, she got a little bit lucky with the speed ties and such and the sleep turns, but it is what it is. That's what you add. That's what this game is. When it's the exact same team versus the exact same team, it's who wins the speed ties, and especially when there's an Amoonguss, who gets the sleep turns. And she positioned herself to a spot where she was going to be able to get the sleep turn off. So I didn't position myself away from the away from the spore. So that's on her. That's just a good game on her. Nothing I can really say there. So now we go into game 3, and like I said, this is game 3, and it's one of those things where you kind of just realize, okay, well, the optimal lead is what she led last game, right? With the Instant Dragapult, and it's who calls each other's bluff, right? I have to lead Dragapult now because I realized that I cannot let her Dragapult set up first. I think I went back to Amoonguss, expecting her to maybe go switch it up as well. But I'm going to go Urshifu, and it has to be instant. There's literally zero reason to bring anything else. Ryan, just lock in. Just lock in. There's literally zero reason to bring anything else. Just lock in. Just lock in. I think at this point I'm just kind of waiting because this is what I like to do until she locks in. There she goes, she locked in. And here we go. I think we kind of, at this point, just kind of realize that we're both going to be leading Dragapult. And either we both max turn 1 and I win the speed tie and win the game, or I lose the speed tie and either somehow have to miraculously outposition. And I'm not saying you lose the speed tie on the Dragapult, you lose the game, but there's the Dragapult Incineroar, and here's the Amoonguss Dragapult. And this is where things get interesting. Because, in theory, I know Fiona likes going for Wormwind in these types of plays. Right? And knowing Fiona likes going for Wormwind on these plays, I could potentially switch Dragapult out into Incineroar. Yeah, I'll take big damage from the Wormwind, but I'd protect the Amoonguss. And then the following turn I come in, I would fake out the instant and get the Spore onto her Dragapult. Right? So basically I would be forcing her Dynamax and going for the... and getting the Spore off and stalling it out and then having my late game Dragapult, which would be a very smart play. However, I wasn't confident in Fiona actually going for the Wormwind here, so I decided to just play the speed tie. I still don't know if she clicked Wormwind or not. I'd like to find out, maybe I should ask her, but I would very much so like to know if she clicked Wormwind. Because if she clicked Wormwind, I could have easily protected Amoonguss and not played the speed tie here, brought in Incineroar, and then clicked Fake Out Spore the next turn and been in a phenomenal position. However, the only reason I think that doesn't work is if she Phantasms to lower the Amoonguss' defense, which I think is a very viable option, and is one of the main reasons I like clicking Phantasm a little more than Wormwind. Like, really, what attack am I lowering? The Incins, right? I think she would have been clicking Phantasm here. I personally would have been clicking Phantasm here. I opted to go for the Spore. Basically, I said if I lose the speed tie, there's no point in Rage Powdering because I'm just going to get faked out anyways. So if the off chance she tries to switch or does something dumb, I can maybe get the Spore off. But she correctly fakes out, goes into the Amoonguss. Amoonguss is going to flinch, of course. And I do win the speed tie, thankfully. And at this point, it's going to be very tough for me to lose this game. But it's not game over yet, right? Because the thing is now, we have similar concept to last game where now she brings in Amoonguss. Right? The only good news is I have my Incineroar that can pivot in now. And that's why this game is different. Right? Last time I couldn't pivot in the instant and max guard. Right? My instant was gone already. So I had no way to position that. Now, I can actually click max guard and pivot in my Incineroar here, which is exactly what I should be doing. Yep. So basically this just makes sure no one goes to sleep this turn, and then the following turn, I can get this Amoonguss killed. And I just double the Amoonguss next turn, unless it protects. So it's one of the things where I'd have to call that, of course. But we'll see what happens here. But this is just the optimal position. I'm actually a bit surprised Fiona decided to play this out. Fair enough, like I perfectly respect it, but like she needs me to mess up. And I think at this point she kind of realizes I'm not going to mess up, but the Flare Blitz going into instant there, and I'm expecting Spore into Goggles, or Spore into Dragapult, one of the two. It should be Spore into Dragapult, because that's the threat. Yep. Spore into Dragapult, as I said, is the threat there, and okay, so here we go for Max Wormwind into the Incineroar, just pick up that knockout in that slot, and I go for the Taunt into the Amoonguss. If she opts for the Rage Powder and to switch into Urshifu, I get the -1, so it doesn't really matter. She does switch into Urshifu, but I don't think she's going to Rage Powder. Rage Powder does not help her at all. I would imagine actually a Spore. Sludge Bomb might be the best bet, but Protect is perfectly fair. It doesn't want me to double up into that slot. Keeps her pieces around, keeps her pivots going. But I Worm-Winded the instant slot anyways. It would have died since it was -1 defense. And this Urshifu just gets absolutely shredded by that Wormwind. And this is why the Dragapult being around longer than the opposing Dragapult matters so much. Because there's only so much pivoting you can do without taking so much damage from Dragapult. Right now this Urshifu is in 1 dart range. Range of 1 dart. All I need to do is get a Dragon Darts off. Of course right here Amoonguss can click Rage Powder, right? I think here I actually probably had a free Dragon Dance. Actually no I didn't, what am I saying? I definitely did not. I definitely did not. I think I had to Phantom Force and pivot into Amoonguss. Right? Or did I switch? That's a fair play too. I don't know what I did. I really don't remember what I did here. I'll analyze it in a second. Okay, that's fair. So here I clicked Phantom Force and switched into Amoonguss. I don't know if I necessarily agree with this because what this does is it actually gives her a free Spore on the following turn. Which I don't really know if I like or necessarily think that was smart of me. But we're going to Phantom Force, and I believe I hit the Urshifu here. I might have hit the Amoonguss though, but I'm pretty sure I hit the Urshifu. Because once Urshifu goes down, my instant literally wins this game. Right? All I have to do is kill the instant. Surging Strikes, of course, that would have gone into my Incineroar, but Amoonguss comes in here and eats that. Still does 21 points of damage, which is kind of funny. Like, you think Amoonguss tanks that very, very well, but it's still doing a lot of damage. It's just, Amoonguss has such a high HP stat that it really doesn't look like it's that much. So, here's one of the things where I am expecting to just get put to sleep now, and I don't like that. So, I think I Sludge Bombed Urshifu and just doubled that slot, because if she pivoted an instant off that slot, it basically guarantees it. And she can't protect because I clicked Phantom Force. There's a switch out, so now it's basically how much damage can I do to this instant here on this switcher. If I can put it into range of a dart, phenomenal. The problem is this Amoonguss clicks Spore. The only good news, and similar to last time, is she can't touch me. Her Dragapult is gone. This is, I think, one of the bigger problems with our team, is that we can't touch Dragapult if we lose Dragapult. Which is really kind of annoying. But anyways, Sludge Bomb going into the instant does not get the poison, and there's the correct Spore into the free slot of the Dragapult, and Dragapult going to take a nap. So, I messed this game up. I should have been switching Dragapult into Amoonguss and save the Dragapult for the late game there. There was no reason for me not to. Like, I should have double switched Dragapult into Amoonguss, instant into Urshifu. The turn to Ursh was still on the field there instead of Phantom Forcing. But I did what I did, and now I'm stuck here. So I'm going to pivot out. I'm going to go back into instant here. Gets the Intimidate, keeps my Amoonguss alive. Not really much that really else needs to be said there. And I'm burning a turn to sleep with Dragapult. There's nothing more to that. They're going to switch out Amoonguss, which is perfectly fine. And very, very good for me as well, because now they don't have Rage Powder beside the Dragon Darts. And I can simply just click Dragon Darts next turn, assuming I can wake up. But Incineroar gonna go Flare, but she's just desperately trying to get rid of pieces, right? So she goes into the Amoonguss there, which is now the instant. Instant eats that very well, very well. So she can take a little bit of recall. And now, 1, I have Fake Out Pressure. And 2, I can potentially wake up. And this is where I actually decided to go for the free Dragon Dance, just to see if I can get it off. Because if I can wake up and get the Dragon Dance off, we're in a very good spot. Did I Fake Out Ursh? I think I just faked out Urshifu. And I think that is the correct way. Because I'm pretty sure she just protects and pivots Amoonguss back in. Which is why I think this is the freest Dragon Dance, assuming I can wake up. So Amoonguss is still at full health. Urshifu does click the tech, so I got this call perfect, which is nice. But Incineroar gonna go Fake Out. I guess I could have just Flare Blitzed Amoonguss if I really wanted to go perfect, but I think I made the proper play that was 100% safe. Like, there was no way she could have punished that. Unfortunately, I did remain asleep, and now I gotta pivot back out. So this is one of the things where, Dragapult, can you please wake up, buddy? This is all I'm asking. Please wake up. I'm pretty sure you had a proper night's sleep the night before, so maybe you could wake up. Like, I know you've been putting in work today, but just a few more rounds, okay? Just a few more rounds. But, yeah. Excuse me. Amoonguss is going to Rage Powder right there. And perfectly expected. I hope to wake up and just get double darts. And the thing is, I can safely do that because she's guaranteed to Rage Powder. She's forced to click Rage Powder. There's no thing about that. She has to Rage Powder both the darts away. If I get a dart and it goes into the Urshifu dies, and I just take the game. I personally think this should go into Dragapult, and it does correctly go into Dragapult. So Dragapult getting chipped there, and it looks like I'm in range of another one. The only good news is, once again, she cannot protect Urshifu. So this is one of the things where I'm expecting Fiona to actually pivot out in the instant with the Urshifu, which is why the delay here, right? Because she can't really Rage Powder because she loses a Moongus, and that's a piece that she can't afford to lose. Her only win con is really to kind of keep her pieces alive right now, and this is the problem, is that Dragapult now puts on too much pressure. If she opts to Rage Powder, I think Urshifu switches into Instant though, and she's just gonna can it there. Yeah. That I think is just the right play, because the problem there is she has to Rage Powder to keep the Ursh alive. And if she doesn't keep the Ursh alive and gets the Spore off, it's not worth it for her. Like, okay, I kill the Ursh, she spores my Dragapult, I Sludge Bomb, I kill the Amoonguss. Then it's Incineroar versus an Instant, an Urshifu. It was too late. There was, I think at that point in general, even if she does make some sort of switch into Incineroar and protect the Amoonguss maybe, but the thing is, if she does that, then Instant takes the 2 Dragon Darts, and you can't do that. Dragon Darts is such a good move because of that, right? If your opponent wants to protect something, their slot beside that gets punished. And I think that's the main reason why it's almost impossible to pivot out of that after you lose the speed tie with the Dragapult. Because, right? Because if you could have just pivoted an Instant there, protected Amoonguss, Instant takes 1 dart, Amoonguss takes the other dart into the protect, the following turn you actually have something there, you know? Because then you can fake out Amoonguss, the 2 darts go out, 1 dart won't kill Amoonguss, you get the Spore. But because Dragon Darts redirects, and the Dreepy are geniuses and realize, hey, you know what? I get to go into the other slot because I'm not going to go into this big wall over here. I'm going to go over here. Thank you very much to Smart Dreepy. Smart Dreepy are the reason I win this set. But anyways, with that, guys, we are now sitting at 6-2. We came all the way back from 1-2 to 6-2. Super, super unfortunate to have to eliminate a friend, especially when it's the person you actually built the team with, and the team is actually working super, super well for both of you all day. It just sucks that it had to come down to speed ties and stuff like that. But either way, I think we might as well get out of here. We should be back. I believe it's going to be tomorrow, unless my opponent decides to say that they don't want me to upload a set in preparation because they still have to play their top 16 matches. So it's probably going to be tomorrow, but I'll if it's not tomorrow, it will be coming at some point, guys. With that, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, guys, so you don't miss out on more content. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I will be back with round 7 very, very shortly.